Hi boys and girls, this is Mrs. Mondro, and today I am going to show you how to make a Faith Ringgold inspired word quilt. So if you look close on here, you'll see that my word is star. But let's go ahead and just start with the first step, and then we'll get to this later. Alright, so the first thing you're going to need is a piece of paper. And you're going to need scissors. And what we need to do is fold this piece of paper so that we end up with a square. So what you are going to need to do is fold either your top or your bottom to meet your side line. So watch as I fold. Okay, don't press down until you know your lines are your sides are lined up perfectly. Once you have that perfect match, go ahead and press it down. And then you're going to see this little flap right here. We need to cut that off. So keep your fold in place and just cut along here. All right, we're going to put that aside. We will not use that. And then you have your square. So once we have it folded this way, we're going to go ahead and fold it the other way so that we have 4 parts or 4 triangles on here. So now that we're at this point, what you need to do is think of what word you would like to put on your word quilt. You can do your name as long as it's not too long. You can do an inspirational word. You can basically do anything you want. So the one that I showed you before, I used the word star because this was the first thing that popped in my head. But this one, I'm going to do a name, and the name I'm going to do means beautiful. So if you know the meaning of, I think it's Italian, if you know the Italian word for beautiful, you would know that it will be Bella. So what you're going to do, and it might help if you actually take your pencil and, or at least do 1 triangle so you know what you're working with. If it helps, excuse me for that. If it helps, you might want to just fold your paper this way, back into a triangle. Let me go back to this part. All right, and you want the point, the top or the point facing away from you, and then the flat line along here. So what you're going to do is you are going to write your word in here, but your word this is the rule. The word has to touch the bottom, and it has to touch the fold. So I'm going to do Bella. So what I'm going to do is start with my B. And I am going to do like block letters. You can do, these letters are just straight. They're not done any special way. You can do bubble letters, block letters. So I'm going to do Bella in block letters. So I'm going to go around like this. And then do the inside to make it block. So here's my B. And if you notice, it is touching the fold and the bottom line. Okay, next letter is the E. Now your next letter is going to be, as you get to the middle, your letters are going to go way taller than your first one. So for E, I'm going to start at the fold, go down to the bottom line. I'm going to make the top of my E, come down, in, go to the middle. And also it does work best if you use capital letters because you're able to stretch them bigger. So I've got B, B. Next letter I'm going to make is an L. And I'm going to start at the very top, come all the way down. Again, I'm doing that block L. Go ahead and add a little bottom to it. We're going to add another L. And again, I'm starting at the fold, coming down. There we go. And then the last letter I'm going to make is an A. And I have this much space, so I will squeeze my A in there. So here's my A. And again, if it's hard for you, if you don't have practice doing the block letters, what you might want to do is just write it, you know, kind of just with capital letters, and then go ahead and build the block around it. So it looks like that. So I have the beginning. I want to make sure that I spelt it right, that my letters are all touching. Once I've done that, I am going to go ahead and take a black marker, and I'm going to trace my word. So, trace quickly. We're going to be doing lots, we're going to be repeating, tracing this word many, many times. Okay, almost done with this. And then let's get the A. Oops, my marker is drying out. Let me go ahead and get a fresh one. Okay, so once you have your first, your word written down for the first time, what you're going to do is you're going to open up your square. So it looks like this, and then you're going to flip your paper over. And you should be able, if you've done it in marker, you should be able to see your writing on the back side. So what you're going to do is you're going to trace it, but the word is going to be backwards. So just go ahead and trace. And again, like, this doesn't have to be perfect. Your lines don't have to be perfectly straight. It's okay. This is art. Okay, so now I have it backwards. I've traced it. So this is the trick. You have to do this to be able to do the other parts. Now, what I want to do is I want to be able to get Bella on all 4 triangles. I have one done. I've traced the back. So what I'm going to do is, here's my one that's in the back. I'm going to fold my paper this way. All right, and then you should be able to see the word here. I think you can see the B-E-L-L-A. So what you're going to do is you're going to trace it again. Let's get the L's in there. Another L. And then A. All right, now that I did that, I am going to fold, I'm going to open it back up, and then I'm going to fold it this way so that I can trace it again on this side. And again, it'll be backwards. Whoops. And again, it doesn't have to be absolutely perfect. It's going to turn out beautiful in the end. Okay, now I'm almost there. So now if I open this up and I turn the paper around, what you're going to see is your design, your quilt design starting to come alive. What you might want to do is go ahead and kind of tighten up those letters so that they're all matching. Let me fix my A's. And then we have one more to do here. So if I go this way, I can't get that on there. So what you're going to do for this last part is you're going to have to trace it a second time on the back. So I'm going to go ahead and trace this, but it's going to be in the right direction. All right, and now when I flip it, Okay, yep. When I flip, okay, so I'm not going to flip it. I'm going to leave it. Here's the right direction. And what I'm going to do is go ahead and fold this over this way. I knew what I was doing. And it's going to show through here. And then I'm just going to go ahead and trace it for the last time. Now it helps, like I'm doing my last time, I'm going to make sure these lines line up when I am drawing them. It'll help at the end for when I'm coloring. There's my L, and then my other L, and I can see where my lines are. It's kind of helping me get these in the right place. And then my last letter, A. All right, and then when you open it up, there you go. You have your quilt design, your word quilt design. Again, you can go ahead and just tighten up some of these letters here, and then you are ready to color. Now, what we did is we did create a symmetrical design, which means that what's on one side matches the other. So if I look at this side, it matches this side. If I look at this side, it matches this side. So when I start to do my coloring, I want to make sure that whatever I color on one side, I color it the same on the other side. So I'm going to go ahead and put my Bella one aside, and I'm going to pull my star one back out. And for example, on this side, I colored this pink. So of course I went to the other side, colored it pink. Now I'm going to choose a new color. Or I could go ahead and maybe decide some other areas that I want to color pink. So I decided I want to do the inside top of the A pink. Okay, and then over here, and then over here. And then I also want to do the R's pink. But again, this is your project. You can do whatever color combinations you want. Let me get this. Watch it come alive. And then get the last R. Okay, so those are all the things I want to color pink. And then I'm going to come in with a new color. And I'm going to grab a blue. And what do I want to do blue? I'm going to do these four corners blue. So where this is, I'm going to go ahead and color that. Now if you're using markers and you're coloring a big area, it's always helpful to use not the point of your marker. That's great for little areas, but use the side of your marker. And I've learned over the years, if I'm coloring an area, and it just fills in nicer if I make straight lines instead of going back and forth. And use the side of my marker. So I'm going to come to this side, do the same thing. Okay, and then I want to do this corner as well. So I will fill that in. And I wish when I was younger I knew about this marker coloring trick. Would have saved me a lot of time and made my projects look nicer. Alrighty, so I've got that much done. I have this really interesting design right here. And I'm going to do that, let's see, I'm going to do it purple. Purple will make it look interesting. So, and again, what I do on one side, I'm going to need to do it on the other side. Let me get these colored in. And this little area here. That actually makes your coloring go faster. Coloring symmetrical, because you don't have to keep choosing what colors you're going to put in what areas.